All right, people, we live. It's your boy Tuck, and I want to talk about these playoffs, man. Now, I don't know what I'm gonna call this, if this is gonna be a series or not, but I just want to throw my, throw my 2 cents out there on what's going on in the sports world. Since I'm a huge sports fan, I love basketball, football, baseball, all of that. But we're gonna talk about these playoffs. Game 2 went down yesterday, 15 April. I keep trying to say August. I don't know why. 15 April, Game 2. We're gonna start off with Brooklyn versus Philly. Okay, now my first initial thoughts on this matchup when the regular season ended was I thought this was I love this matchup. I think it's a really good matchup between two really good, two really talented teams, two really deep teams. They're both really deep as far as player-wise. Their benches, I think their benches kind of overperformed. Well, I'd say Brooklyn's bench definitely overperformed for what they had as far as Joe Harris and those other guys on that bench. Philly they really went out and got with who they wanted. They got Tobias Harris, Mike Scott, Marjanovic, whatever the 7'6" dude name is. But they went out and got him. They went out and got those guys, and their bench is thriving because of it. What the hell? Anyways, I enjoyed watching both of these teams play during the regular season, and I think it was going to be a really good matchup. Now, Game one was very lackluster, I would say, for Philly. Philly did not come to play in my eyes, and that was kind of embarrassing to do that on their home floor. But they picked it up Game 2. They did their thing. They played their style of basketball. They played their brand of basketball. And in my eyes, if Philly continues to play their brand of basketball, which is share the ball, get everybody involved, I don't see Brooklyn having a chance on winning this series. I don't think they take another game if Philly can keep that style of gameplay going. Now, game one, we saw a lot of hero ball from Jimmy Butler, and they got rid of that game. They got rid of that hero ball. They strayed away from it. They got everybody involved. Ben Simmons triple-double. I think Mike Scott hit a few shots. I don't know if he was double digits. I know Tobias Harris was double digits. Jimmy Butler only had like 7 points. I know Embiid was double digits. The bench, they had a good rotation. So that's what they need if they're gonna win. That's what they need if they're gonna win going forward. The question is, can they keep it up? Because they've shown signs of just going cold and just not playing as a team and just having those moments. So can they keep it up? That's going to be the X factor for this team. Can they play their style of basketball every single night against the toughest teams away in crunch time? Can they keep that going? Now Brooklyn, like I said, I don't really see them winning the series. Now I love D'Lo, though he's become an all-star for the first time in his career. He's still very, very young, but his team, he has a really good team around him, I think, and they're young. But they've just never been here before. They've never been in this situation before. I don't really see them being able to compete as long as Philly keeps playing the way they're supposed to be playing, which is Game 2 ball, not Game 1 ball. If they keep playing Game 2 ball, then Brooklyn's not gonna have a chance. I don't think. But this is just a sign of good things to come for Brooklyn. I'm not writing away the series because you never know with Philly. Philly's really they're really hot and cold. They can be really hot and cold. So Game 2, they scored 51 points in the third quarter, which I think is tied for the most in basketball in NBA history or something like that. I don't know, but yeah. And then they can go into Game 3 and then score like 85 points in 4 quarters, and then Brooklyn will blow them out by 20 or something like that. So we don't know. We don't know with Philly. We really don't know. I like Ben Simmons' play. Game 1, he did what he was supposed to do. He attacked the basket. He shared the ball. He played defense. That was my biggest question with Ben Simmons. I didn't know. I had no idea. I had no clue if Ben Simmons had any type of defensive integrity, any type of intensity on defense. I still to this day don't really know. I don't really watch too much Philly basketball. I know when I did watch them, I enjoyed watching them, but I just don't know if Ben Simmons has that defensive intensity that a player of his caliber is capable of. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but if he can buckle down and become somebody that can guard the best player on the other team, or just get steals and just play hard defensively and just bring that energy, he can he can lead this team deep into the playoffs. I think he can lead this team deep into the playoffs and maybe even to the finals. I think it's gonna have to be him because Joel Embiid can only do so much being a big man. He can only do so much with just getting the ball to him. Jimmy Butler can only do so much because he doesn't really have a lot of facilitating in his game. He's really more of a defensive guy, and he can go out there and score, and then he gets you those clutch buckets when you need them. And then you have guys that come off the bench like Tobias Harris, Marjanovic, whatever his name is, and so on and so forth, that can come and give those guys a rest, give them a clean 18, 20 minutes, and they can go out there and produce. They can keep the pace going. Yeah, so that's what I like about Philly. And if they can just, like I said, if they can just keep it up, man, they'll be fine. They can just keep playing the way they're supposed to be playing, they'll be fine. We'll see what happens. I got at this point, I think Philly won't drop another game. So I think it'll be 4-1 Philly, and it'll go from there. All right, now to game 2 of the game 2, Clippers versus Golden State. Now, I know at the end of that game, well, at the very end, when it was like 2 minutes left, a minute 30, minute left of the game, I know Twitter, as a collective unit, had their Twitter fingers ready and waiting to see if Golden State would complete this collapse with 31 points. They held true. They held true because when there was nothing but memes of Golden State, or how happy, not even of just Golden State, it was more so memes of how happy people were that they had took that L. Now, I didn't even notice the cryptic message behind what had actually happened until like 1 in this afternoon. They lost, or they blew a 31-point lead. They blew a 3-1 lead to the Cavs in the final. But yeah, Twitter was ready, man. Twitter fingers was ready for that one. You know, I guess people don't like seeing them win multiple titles, and they don't like KD or whatever. They don't like Draymond. They don't like seeing them win back to back. So yeah, I guess that's why. But onto the game, it was literally like a tale of like like a tale of two and a half quarters to like the last quarter and a half. Golden State had a 31-point lead with seven minutes left in the third quarter, and they blew it. Point blank period. They blew that lead to the Clippers of all teams. Now, the Clippers are not a bad team. They are not bad at all. They are actually a well put together team. They don't have a solid superstar on their team, but they are a well put together team, and they're a well coached team. And I've seen this before. I've seen teams like this disrupt teams in the playoffs. They are well put together. They're well coached. They have a defensive force in Pat Bev, who can go out there and literally, apparently he's 6'1", he can guard anybody. He disrupted Kevin Durant, of all players. He disrupted him, and he rendered him almost useless. And he fouled out. They both fouled out. I don't know who fouled out first, but they fouled out. But KD had 9 turnovers. He had 9 turnovers, and as a product of Pat Bev being the defensive force that he is and have that energy. They have Gallinari, who's playing pretty damn well for being a guy who was supposed to be like a superstar and just didn't live up to it, but now he's on a team where he can kind of get some help, and he's got, he doesn't have to be that guy that just does everything. And then you have Landry Shamet, a young up and coming player who hit a big shot late and can play well, and I've heard is pretty good defensively. And then they got the other guy, I can't remember his name's too long. I think he's a rookie or he's like a second-year player, but he's playing well. And then my favorite player on the team, Lou Williams, dropping 36 on the head, 36 and 11. Lou Will is like, he wanted all the smoke. Steph Curry hit a big shot, he come back and hit a shot to match it. So he was pretty much the engine on that team. He's not even a starter. So that was, I can't be a Clippers fan. I can't be a fan of either of these teams. Personally, I hope both of these teams lose. Lou Will is the man. Now, do I think the series is gonna change as far as like Golden State winning? I don't know. I don't think so. I think maybe it'll go an extra game. I don't think it'll go 7. I think it may go 6. I think the Clippers may take one in LA, but ultimately the outcome is probably gonna be Golden State winning the series. And I feel like that's the general consensus around sports fans, and but we got to talk about what is going on with Golden State now. What I don't even know how to put this, because this is not the first time that something like this has happened to Golden State at Golden State. If I remember correctly, they've blown 20-point plus leads. They have been blown out by 20 points at home, and now they in the playoffs, and probably the most important games of their season, they go out there and they blow a 31-point lead to a team that is, a good team, but really doesn't have that one key player that you can't really stop. They just play well together. And who knows if that's better than just having a star? I don't know. Yeah, they go out there and they blew it. Now the Boogie Cousins injury, I would admit that did hurt, but I think it's deeper than that. I think it's going to be deeper than that. I think it's something mentally. I think it's something in the locker room. I can't really put my finger on it. It may be the KD, Draymond drama. It may have been Boogie. Maybe he brought a negative energy. It may be something with Steve Kerr not coaching the way he's supposed to coach. It may be something that we don't even know. I don't know, but they're off. There's something wrong with them, and it's gonna show. I feel like it's been showing all season, and it showed again in the playoffs. And I don't know. I just don't know if they're gonna be able to withstand, the storm that's coming. Because if they're gonna do this against the Clippers, imagine them having to play Portland or Houston or OKC, one of those teams, and having to deal with what they're dealing with. They're not going to make it to the finals if they can't get over that hump. So we'll see about that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see Stephen Curry get a third ring in a row, because I like Steph Curry. Steph Curry's a cool dude. Speaking of Steph Curry, did he? I don't want to say he kind of. I don't want to say he disappeared in the fourth, but I think he did not shoot well. I think it was 2 of 9 he shot from the field in the fourth. Essentially, he did disappear. He did hit a big shot to put him up 5 with like 2 minutes left. I do remember that. But I don't. Steph Curry does that. He does that. He's that player that he'll play an entire game, and he'll play an entire game hot. He'll start off a game, shoot a 3, and he'll just be hot, and he'll be hot the entire game. And he'll make 10 of 14 threes or whatever he usually does, 8 of 12 threes. But then if you get him in those situations where he needs to hit the big shot, he struggles to make those shots. I've seen him hit them before, but he really struggles. I've seen him miss more than he's made. So I don't know. I don't know about those moments for Steph. We're gonna have to see. Other than that, I mean, yeah, I still don't think Clippers will win a series, and I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to see them play one of these better teams in the West. I can't wait to see what they do, especially in this setting, in this playoff atmosphere. We're gonna see really, really what they got. Yeah, this is to me is gonna be their toughest road. What the hell just happened? Yeah, this is gonna be their toughest playoff push. If I had to, yeah, I would bet money on it. I definitely bet money on it. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, I ain't got really much else to say. Thanks for tuning in. If you did tune in, if you rocking with me, like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. And yeah, until next time, deuces.